Hello, guys. Welcome to What If Naruto was half Uchiha, half Phoenix. This was a request from someone, but I did edit a few things. Like, I thought since it was an Uchiha, I could make it a little bit different from normal Phoenixes. More similar to Amaterasu. But first, let's get things. We're gonna say his releases, his affinities, and Mangekyo abilities. Affinities: Boil release, Scorch release, Lava release, Dust release. Because Dust release has fire in it, he can technically use it. Yin Yang release, because I believe that Yin Yang release is it's the closest thing that you can get to immortality, and since he's a half phoenix, he rises from his own ashes. So he's actually turns to ash when he dies and will just rise from it. But in a world at random, because this is how I'm going to end up doing it. Because I might just branch this out into a few different animes if I get into them enough. But anyways, let's continue. Lightning release, fire release, black fire, because essentially he has a unique ability he can channel. He has a secondary chakra pool. This is it's going to be what I call his Phoenix chakra. By using a little bit of Phoenix chakra in his fire release, it makes it black. It's as hot as Amaterasu, but it doesn't last as long as Amaterasu, if that makes sense. And then Mangekyo ability. Oh, and he also has wind release because phoenixes are birds. Mangekyo abilities: Kodomatsu Kami, Tsukiyomi, and Kodomatsu Yomi are in his left eye. Just so you know, the Kodomatsu Yomi allows him to essentially manipulate their bodies as if they're the bodies of his enemies as if they're puppets. Through an illusion, but they're still conscious. And then his right eye has Kamui Izuragi. I missed one. And his right eye has Amaterasu, Kamui, and Izuragi. Izuragi allows him to essentially set up markers, which will essentially instantly will make it so that he doesn't die, which is another form of which he is rising from the ashes. However, he in return, he uses a ton of chakra, and he can't go blind because he's a phoenix. And I'm gonna say that they're immune to the blindness effect. And then we have Naruto's Sharingan, Naruto Susanoo, his blade, Naruto himself. There's that paper bit. Naruto's phoenix form, as you've already seen, but Naruto's right Mangekyo eye, and Naruto's left. Just so you know, I know that Shisui's eye, it's just I couldn't find anything better. So let's start the video. We start off as we see a little Uchiha kid crying on the street because his parents were killed in the QB attack, and everyone's been calling him a demon and a monster, and the kid doesn't know what to do as they see him run away, trying to get away from all the glares that people start, or at least people were whispering that and glaring at him. He was getting scared from all these glares, making him leave out in tears. As we see it, as this is how he awakened his one Tomoe Sharingan. He goes to a cave and finds a weird sword. This sword is a sword of black fire that is solidified, and he looks at it and he feels a stretching call as he touches the sword, as it was originally like a blackish gem, but then it instantly explodes on fire because he unknowingly placed chakra in it. But it's normal fire because anytime he places Phoenix chakra, it will do. But he also has an extreme amount of both chakras. As now he feels as he's uh, as they see the sword vanish into his hand. Because essentially what I'm doing, you'll see what I'm doing soon. As we time skip. He's been training with the sword, trying to develop a kenjutsu style of his own during this time skip. And we see as he ruins Sarutobi, that's fine. We asked him if he wishes to go to the academy at the age of 6 this time. As he says, sure, GG. As time skip to the end of the academy, where Naruto, and then I'm just gonna say that he has a ton of chakra because he's a phoenix, so for plot, he's gonna lose. He's not gonna be able to finish the exam, so he goes and gets the Forbidden Scroll just as canon. But when it comes to the jutsus he learns, what ends up happening is he finds something. It's called True Blood Awakening. Actually, no. He finds a few different things. He finds lightning. He finds the Chidori in there because of the lightning release. He finds he finds the Majestic Destroyer Flame, like Madara's Majestic Destroyer Flame, and Wind Release. And a Wind Release as well as a Wind Release jutsu that's extremely powerful called Wind Release. Great Tornado Cutter. It creates a tornado it makes like a tornado. Actually, no, it will be called Wind Release. Great Tornado Dragon Cutter. It will create a dragon out of a tornado dragon of just spiraling, cutting wind. And then, of course, the Shadow Clones. But then he feels another chakra in his body, and he envelops it as he turns into his phoenix form for the first time. As we see, and he feels immense power flow over him. His chakra was going past that of the Bijus. But he realized, because he's not that dumb in this, but he's still manipulatable because he's a kid. Because he's still a little bit of a kid. And he's not dumb, but he's a little bit, naive right now. So he ends up, he transforms and thinks, you know what, I'm gonna see what would happen if I placed some of this chakra into ninjutsu, as he did learn basic ninjutsus from the Uchiha clan in the secret. And he says, fire release. Fireball jutsu. As he says this about placing it in, we see the black fire appear. As he says, cool. As now we see as his Tutoma, but he also tries placing it in his eyes, as they see it evolve to a Tutomoi, just because of the raw potency of the chakra, before it even reached his eyes fully. However, the third Tomo will still be a problem, because, yeah. And then we see as he's going, and now we see as he's going to the belt test. And he gets there after doing the introduction things. And now, this will be the end of the video, because I'm gonna go and do something else. But bye guys, and don't forget this. I will be trying my best to do more parts on what ifs, but sometimes it's a little bit hard for me. Okay?